Welcome back, friends, to another sort of Convallaria video. Today, we are talking again about Spirals of Destiny. And why, may you ask? Well, it's because a new chapter just got launched yesterday as of when I'm recording this. Now, it just so happens I've got quite a few messages and comments from people saying, you know what? We don't really like this mode. We'd rather focus on these characters we're pulling, building their gear, etc., etc., and that's perfectly fine. But you're still going to want to play Spiral because it has a lot of good resources that you can gain, not only for just pulling your characters with things like the Hope Luxite, but also in things like Radiant Powder. There's even legendary weapons in there. So today, what I want to do for you is twofold. One, I want to show you rewards, both what you get normally through Spiral, as well as a limited time event that happens to be going on to celebrate the new chapter. And then I thought I'd do something fun and see, with my knowledge of Spiral, as much as I've played it, can I speed run a whole chapter, and how long will that take? I haven't tested it. This is a total experiment, but I'm going to do it with you today on this video. So let's get into the game, and here we are, and let's talk about some of the rewards. So first of all, for the new event, let's pull this up. You've got Spiral of Destinies, and quite a few things in here. They're advertising, obviously, some legendary trinkets, some engravings, the octopus cans, which is whatever, bunch of Hope Luxite. And if you go through the quests, these are basically centered around the new chapter. Now, something I did notice when I came into this is there was a window here that said you had to get to knowledge level 30 in order to play, or there was something where you could like skip the progress, which I didn't happen to click on because I'm already well past level 30. And the knowledge level is what you fill in each time you complete a chapter. And before we go any further, I want to tell you that everything I'm about to show you, heavy spoilers, okay? The nature of me showing you the reward screen and the nature of what I need to talk about for the speed run, it's just story spoiler after story spoiler after story spoiler. So I'm telling you that now. I'm going to flash up on the screen here. Heavy spoilers from this point forward. If you don't want Spiral story spoilers, get out of this video. I love you. I'd love for you to be here, but I am going to spoil this. So spoiler warning is done. Let's jump into Destiny Traces. This is where you get a good portion or all of your rewards from the Spirals of Destiny. And as I click through these, you're going to start seeing some things. So again, if you don't want spoilers, get out of this video. But what's cool is as you play this mode normally, you are unlocking Luxite constantly as you go through it for different types of achievements, for completing certain story things and whatnot. And you'll notice they just keep coming, as you go through. Also in here, you have Remembrance. So Remembrance is a bunch of achievements and things that you unlock during the story, like these cutscenes and whatnot. And each of these also give you Luxite, 30 on most. There's a couple in here that will give you like character portrait outline things, whatever you call these. And so you do get a couple cool ones like that if that's your thing. I honestly don't really care about them, but whatever. But otherwise, all of these different achievements are giving me Luxite every time I get one, and they happen pretty naturally. The only ones I've actually had to focus on getting intentionally are the barrels treasure hunt. Sorry. And that's because these ones actually require you to pay some coin during your campaign to unlock the quests. So you have to think deliberately about when you take the quest and have the money to do so. Performance, again, this is cutscenes, this is the different paths. You can see how many I haven't unlocked versus what I have. And again, I've done 3 full paths already. And so as you go through and you unlock these, you unlock Luxite with them. You can come back and watch the scenes again. Some really good story beats, but I appreciate the fact that you may not care about those. So last is knowledge level. Knowledge level, again, happens when you complete a chapter. And as you go through a particular branch, there's multiple chapters and multiple opportunities to get this knowledge. And what you get can be very basic at the beginning, and most of you are probably past the point of these actually mattering, but you do get a lot of Luxite. You can see on every couple levels here I'm getting Luxite as well as something else, and it starts getting really good in the 50s. Now that sounds like a lot, but this is why I want to see if I can't speedrun this a bit. And so if I come down here, I think it was 57, yeah. At 57, you start getting random legendary gear. It's not every level, but you do start seeing it. You also get legendary ores, you get more and more Luxite, and the amount of things you're getting like coin and radiant dust goes up and up and up as you go through. Now, it does not let you preview the entire like scope of knowledge level, but as you earn more knowledge levels, you kind of get the preview ahead a little bit. But you'll see there's legendary tarots somewhere in here. Yeah, there's more legendary gear, 80,000 powder. That's, I think, what you need to go from 58 to 60. And so you do start getting some really, really good items, really good materials, and a whole bunch of luxite. So again, even if you hate the story, or you just don't care about stories in a game like this, and you just don't really love the mode, by doing it, you are going to help your overall account out by getting these weapons, getting these trinkets, tarots, dust, coin, all the things that you need to progress your other parts of the game. So with that, let's have some fun. I'm going to dive in to the voyage. I have been holding off on starting the new chapter because I want to do this on the old ones, because I actually want to sit back and enjoy the new story. But to walk you through a couple things here, if you haven't played through the story at all, you're going to start at the beginning of the voyage. So we all start up here, which is like the tutorial stages, and you get the first ending just by starting along. And then you kind of come into this piece here, and then you go across each of these as a chapter, and at the end of these is where you get the various knowledge level rewards. So depending on if you've done this mode at all, you may be back in the beginning, or you could have been somewhere along these paths. And you'll notice there's beacon little like icons here. What that is depending on outcomes throughout the story, you get these beacons, which allow you to start at a certain interval. So what I'll do for the sake of this is I'm just going to pick a beacon that kind of starts me off on one of these paths. It's not of any really major benefit in terms of things I'm going to get. It does let me kind of start on a path, and I'm going to go through on my own time and finish another story here. And so it's kind of helping me out a little bit. And I don't mind skipping the story beats and skipping cutscenes because I've already seen all these early, kind of pieces here. I will give you a couple tips though. So one, if you have done some of this and you've unlocked some of your astral paths, you are going to have some benefits. So I will inadvertently start with some of the things that I've already unlocked. This is some extra progression that you get. So I do have a slight, it's not massive, but I do have a slight leg up just in the fact that I've been playing this mode quite a bit. You may or may not have that. I also will get I think it's called a fortune or something like that, where I get to select a benefit. It's helpful. It's not going to make or break the speed run by any means. So you may look at that and say, oh, I don't have that, and that's possibly true. It's okay. It's not giving me like a significant advantage by any means. The other thing I'm going to tell you is if you are ever at a place that you don't care and you just want to speed run it, do not pick the Papal route. This is the one where you can start with Samantha being the one that you really want to, impress. And the way you pick your paths is the Dark Cultist. There's a mission where you have to fight them. I think actually if you fail, you get a bad ending up here. But you get to choose who assists you in that battle, assuming you've done the missions to, earn their favor so they would become a choice. And I would tell you that the Union's probably fine, and Aria's probably fine as well, but the Papal States, it's the extra blessing that you get isn't really going to be beneficial in a speed run. It's just going to give you one more screen to go through that is just okay at best. And so go Union or go with Dantalion, whichever one you prefer. Again, I don't think either one is going to be much harder than the other one, especially if you're just speed running the same chapter over and over again. So I'm probably going to pick I'm going to go Union. Why not? I've got a beacon for it right here. So that's what I'm going to pick. And the big thing that we're going to focus on during the speed run is going for easy missions and going for whatever the stage goals are, and then making sure the other town activities are just running. It doesn't matter if they're efficient. So it doesn't matter if I'm getting the best training or I'm just doing EXP, because I'm only caring about the speed run. I just have to have people sitting there to count that towards my goal. When you get to the end of the chapter, you get ranked on how many things you did. How many things did you forge? How many enemies did you beat? How many stage goals did you complete? Things like that. And it's all actually relatively easy. The big difference that you can probably drive in a speed run is, do you go for maps where you kill more things, or do you go for maps where you just kill the boss? And it's a big distinction, because if you're just killing the boss, you can get in and out of those stages very quickly, especially if you luck out with the Thunderbolt talent. That thing can one-shot a lot of the bosses just on your first move, first action. And so that will be the fastest thing you can do, but it's not guaranteed you'll get that trait or talent from barrel. It's random. Or you can get more points per knowledge level, so more points per key, if you will, if you wipe out entire maps. What I will tell you to do is before you go into Spiral, this is kind of like the pre-warm-up, when you are thinking about who you want to take from your roster, take your most powerful units who have the best builds, who are the highest level, highest ranks. Your gear and stuff is going to come throughout the campaign in here, so you're not going to get to carry your gear, but you are going to have the talents that are on your bar, and you're going to have, you know, those different ranks that you've already done within your character. So I'm going to pick probably Gloria, Momo, and Cole. So I've got a good damage dealer. I've got Gloria, who's Gloria, and Momo, who can just do her AoE wipeout stuff. So that's what I'm going to pick. Let's dive in. So again, the start of this for me is just going to be set up. I don't know how much. Oh, okay. It's giving me some story stuff from the last one. Let's pick it out here. So again, you get to pick your beacon. I'm not going to pick the new one because I just want to show this as a speed run. So I'm going to pick the Gloria one because I want to go Union. And again, some of this you might not have, like you may not have augments if you haven't unlocked them yet. It's fine. I'm going to pick the extra gold. That's going to be very helpful for me in the beginning. Again, you might not have that. I appreciate that. And then I think I get to pick a fortune or something like that. Oh no, I get to pick my people. So let's grab the right ones. We got Gloria. Let's get rid of Rawia. Let's get rid of Dantayan, who doesn't even have any talents picked. I don't know why they picked him. So we'll do Momo and Cole, and this should be a really strong team for me to start with. And we're going to rely on them heavily, except for the weeks that we need to rest. So here we go. We're going to start, and we're going to be skipping through everything. We're going to skip... Oh, actually, sorry. I've got to take one of these tarot cards. Whatever. Tame's Dainty Doll. I don't know what that is. Iron plus 50. Yeah, you know what? We'll take that devil, and I have no idea what that does. So normally, where the screen is going now is probably where you will start, when you don't have to pick all that stuff. Actually, it's a new cutscene. Sorry, I am going to watch this because I haven't seen this cutscene. Normally I would tell you to skip that, but because I do care about the story, I'm actually going to do that. So forgive that part. That's a 30-second loss. So now we are going to skip everything. So loading times will be part of the problem. And here we go. So first off, you're going to want to do whatever you can to fill out these chapter goals. I'm going to assume I already know what they're saying. Hopefully I didn't just screw myself up. And we'll skip that. Okay, so faction is going up because of... Yeah, Darklight is what we have to be careful of. Because of the stuff that I've picked. And, alright, right off the bat, we can forge from blueprints. So we want our forges to be faster. That'll give us more points. And we'll get some weapons and stuff here. So this will happen to you eventually as you... do a couple of these. You'll start getting these options. So we might as well leave this in here. And actually I want to get into my characters. And we want to get into gear. Mytha is super helpful. So I'm just going to kit her out right away. And let's see. Anything of use, we'll just use that. And we'll pop on stuff on our other people really quick. So as you get gear, do make sure you outfit your characters because it will help them. And actually, I think I will give her the better weapon because she's going to be doing some beefy damage. And this little bit of setup is going to help us later. Something you can do right off the bat early on is usually you can recruit people. So do that right away if you need anybody. Yeah, see, I've got a decent one to recruit right there, so he's coming along. And again, we're just going to skip everything we can. I'll skip the bronze. We'll go back, and then we want to get straight to barrel. We want to know what our missions are. Halftime twice, that's pretty typical. Do I have any 17 breakers? I do not. So we can just ignore those bottom paths. On her research, do not do those bottom paths when it costs you money or too many resources. Yes, this is what you want. If you can get Thunderstruck, get it. That's going to be the most important thing. So now we know we want to get ourselves some of her stuff to unlock. And then this is going to seem backwards, but I actually want you to do your quest first if you're speedrunning. And what we want to do is we want to set up our dispatch. Get yourself the caravan quests for gold. And so do I have any? Yes, he can go in, and I need one more level 15. We'll put him in. So you want to get gold going, and then I actually like to have a logging quest going because that will help us ease on some of the burden of all of these different, resources that we need to forge. So get those going. Those will run on their own from now on. And I'm going to go with the defeat the boss strategy. So you can look for different specific resources. Right now, I'm not too worried about that. And we are just going to drop our key players in. Where's the boss? Boss is back there, so we want somebody here. We're going to throw a Momo. I'm going to fill out my entire roster here. Oops. I don't know where I put them. That's fine. Who's fast? Oh, Gloria up here. There we go. We just want everybody on the roster we can. Do I have a healer? I do. Okay. And we need to use halftime twice to complete Barrel's quest. That will be how we get our Thunderstruck. And so we are right off the bat going to do that. Okay, she's going to put some people to sleep here. That's okay. And then can she reach... Oh, I don't have the lightning thing open yet. Duh. So right now I just need Gloria to get as close to our friend up here as she can. Can she hit him? She cannot. That's okay. We will just kill a couple people while we are on the way. I'm going for the speed strategy of killing one boss at a time quickly versus the whole map. You will get more points if you clear the whole map, but like I said, I am doing this way. I want to get in and out of missions quickly. Now, if this does take too long, what I'll do is I'll cut out some of it and then I'll just tell you how well it went in terms of time. But hopefully, the amount of weeks doesn't take too long. Okay. Let's do this. And then Cole should be able to come up here and take care of it, or that. Alright, that's a mission done. So you're going to have a battle mission every week, and sometimes you're going to have a required mission. Experience, don't care about the ritual. Let's do this one. Doesn't really matter. Okay, now what we need to do is clear out all of this stuff. And while we're here, we'll put 2 people in training. So let's pick our... I just come to the bottom here. And I'm just going to give them EXP training. I could do damage enhancements on my main team, but since I'm not playing the long game on this one, it does not matter. It'll be easy enough to get through this either way. There is an event battle that we will need to do. I missed that, so let's just go do that really quick. Combat drill. Okay, so we'll do this. The Union gives you better gear, by the way, if you want to know what their special thing is. So let's get our people going over here. This is ultimately going to be my main team, probably, for the sake of the speed run. And then we will skip all that. So again, I do need to use another halftime. So what I might do is just get her out of the way. Because it's going to put everyone to sleep around me, and I don't really want everybody to be asleep. So whoever goes last is going to take the honor of falling asleep. Let's just do this. And not every week has the double battles, so some weeks will go by faster. And same with your activities. There are weeks where things will be processing, and you won't have to put things in the forge or pick people up to train, things like that. So you don't always have to worry about it. And there are some key trainings you can get as well to think about. For example, there's one that I like to put on Cole, where if I happen to unlock it, it actually lets her do an extra turn, which is helpful because she can already do 2 turns in a row at times. And so getting a third one is even just that much greater. Okay, we're just going to let them be asleep. This will complete Barrel's task, which we want done. Let's see, can you... go attack that guy, please. Thank you. Alright, let's get you to do some AoE. And again, this is why you bring your best players, because that damage is going to be massive for shortening how long, or for speeding up how long it takes to get through this. I don't have the energy for that, darn. Crit it up. There you go. Get the other guy. And with the exception of the Papal state routes, which is maybe another reason why I would say not to do it, most of the battles are pretty easy. There are some that if you want specific endings or things like that, that can be pretty tricky. But again, you don't care. This is a speed run. This is not a be efficient and get the absolute best of everything, best ending, etc. run. God, Martha's gonna die. The only thing that sucks about dying is it does mean that you have to rest sooner, but it's not that big of a deal when it's all said and done. You'll have strong enough teams that you'll be able to sub people in and out pretty quickly. The other thing to look out for too is quests that will fill up your whatever your mission is. So when you go into the quest log or the quest screen, it's going to ask you, it's going to tell you like a stage goal. Make sure that you're doing quests that take care of that. So there we go. We got the 600. So without even leaving the first week, I can now unlock Thunderstruck. And everything I'm going to do is going to be towards upgrading that. Forging slots, I don't bother forging anything under a rare. And so if I don't have a blueprint that's rare, I won't even forge anything. I do, and so I'm going to forge whatever that is. And then, let's see, we need to... I don't think anyone needs to be rested, but if they do, you want to drop them in the Haven. And I do not, which makes sense. I just started this run. And so let's go, I think the last one is if we have blessings. And if we do, we're going to want to set them up just to have that running. And I will put... Oh, I should have put them in first. Oh well. I should have done that before the mission, but that's okay. We'll put it on these people. Again, doesn't really matter. Some lifesteal. The little boons, they're not going to make or break your runs. Alright, and next week. So a common chapter is roughly 10 weeks. And the first one's going to be one we have to set up a lot more than other ones because you're not kind of spinning on people doing stuff. And so that's part of why that took the time that it took. But now, let's dive into these. Yep, faction changes, don't care. We already picked Union. We're going to skip all this. Confirm. So this is probably telling me that I've lost. Yeah, so this is telling me to publicize. This is something you get for beating guild missions, which it makes things harder, but you get better rewards. So I always do that. And when I say it makes it harder, it's really not hard. So these ones with the little shields will give you points towards these things. So I am going to double check these really quick. Defeat all. They're both defeat alls, gold, some crappy gear. Let's see. Let's do this one. Do make sure it's for the faction you want, though, because some of these will be like, 10 faction for someone else. And if you're not focused on them, that's not particularly helpful for you. What? All right, so she'll be good up there. Which means I want Cole down here. Drop me a Mytha. Might as well put her up there, doesn't matter. Fakel's another really good unit. But Mytha and Fakel you get regardless, so you don't have to worry about bringing your own. Matter of fact, if you bring your own, there's going to be missions where you can't use them both anyways, so it's not always all that beneficial. Let's get you up there. And let's hit this barrel. Wasn't enough to take her out, but you know what will take her out is going to be the fire, so I don't have to worry about her. So you do get to use your shiny toys in this mode if you want to. It's alright, and here we go. Let's get on the death train. And this is why I like having coal. And obviously use whoever it is that you have. Actually, I wonder if I should have brought Coco. I just pulled her yesterday. Got her in 41 pulls. It was good times. And just a couple more enemies left, and hopefully Momo will do most of that dirty work for me. I don't need them to do anything. And there we go. I mean, thankfully we got some reinforcements on that mission. I don't have these missions memorized. I'll tell you that right now. So, and then in here, you're just going to pick the things that make the most sense. My core team, I don't really need to pick skills on. So I'll just ignore them if they show up in the roster. And I'll fill in like the Mythas, the Fycles, my healer, all those good things. And so this does not have a event quest. They're still training. I believe I'm still forging. Yep. And so we'll pop in over here. Let's go to the Luxite Workshop. And do I have an 18 Destroyer? I do not. So we are, I think, just needing resting spots. So is there anybody that can rest? If you've put them in one of those side missions, you cannot put them into rest. And so that's the only thing that's going to kind of stink right now is I can't really make use of the resting. So that'll hurt my overall score just a little bit. And as you can see, my dispatches are auto completing. Okay. Ooh, a bear from the future has arrived. I'm going to let the first couple weeks play out so you guys get an idea of the rhythm of this. But spoiler alert, it took about an hour, more or less, to do the entire chapter before, you know, it got to the end screens and all of the good stuff, which I'll probably show here in just a few moments. And once you get the rhythm that I'm showing you at the beginning here of do your missions, have people on dispatch, do your blessings when they come available, always have stuff forging, and do your trainings, and then get as many people resting as possible at the same time. That's your key activity. So getting efficient at those things leaves you the time to either do the clear all from the battle missions, which nets you more points, or to go even faster and do the beat the boss only when those things are available. So rather than have you sit here for the next hour with me, I do want to respect your time. I'm just going to tell you that now. I'll have some sped up footage in the background, and then I'll just jump cut to the end of the run. But understand it took an hour. Maybe you could get a little bit faster. Maybe I could have been slightly faster if I wasn't talking and narrating or commentating, but it's probably not drastically different. I think there might be people out there that can find the exact best chapter to speedrun that maybe saves a week or two, but also keep in mind if you're doing less weeks, you get less points, so it's all relative. So that's it. Let me jump back into the gameplay. We'll go back to the future, past, Days of Future Past. I don't know. We're going back. I'll see you in a second. And we can upgrade. Not quite. Let's see if that completes the chapter. Yeah, there we go. So that is the chapter completed. Honestly, it took longer than I thought it would, but it's good to know. So you'll see now the points you get. So how long you're in there. So the amount of weeks does matter. How many battles you win, defeated enemies can definitely add up. So you have to make the choice if you want to spend more time fighting or more time just clearing out the one boss like I did. Substantial funds, that's, I mean, you get the goal that you get. It's not a lot you can do there. Did all the quests, kept people in training, kept foraging things. Oops. I'm not going to do the next chapter. That was for the demonstration. And I didn't actually check to see if I hit my new level, but let's see. Because afterwards you come back here, and if you jump into these, so I did get a performance. So that new cutscene that I didn't skip at the beginning was actually new to me. So now you're seeing I get the Luxite for that. And I don't know. Oops. I did. It looks like I did complete another level. Earlier levels, you'll get more faster. And so for those two, I got a bunch of the legendary stars, which are a pain in the butt to get. Some more Hope Lexite. And I'm getting ever closer to my next legendary item, which I think is, yeah, 65. So another 1 to 2 chapters and I'll get that. So there you have it. A semi-speed run. Wasn't the fastest thing in the world, but a real example of how you can burn through a chapter if you don't care about the story, if you just want to do things that help build your knowledge level. There's probably ways to absolutely min-max that kind of a speed run. I don't think that, I did every absolute thing that could have gotten the top end points. I also don't think that I would have gotten a significant amount more if I, did 1 or 2 things differently. But if you don't love Spiral, if you're not in it for the story, you're just in it for the rewards, that is an example of what I would tell you you could do in order to kind of shortcut your way through it. I don't think there's a way to make it super, super short unless there's just another chapter that's, less weeks. Maybe that can help you. But I hope that helps overall. I hope that if you are going through this kind of a process, that'll help you get the rewards that you want. And I hope you hit that like and sub button on the bottom of the screen there, and I'll see you on our next video.